When the semester ends, it'll be time to post your students' final grades in Sakai. There are 4 important steps you'll need to perform before posting the final grades. In this video, we'll review a course's grading scale, make an item part of the final course grade, reconcile missing items, and override a student's final course grade. This video assumes you've organized your gradebook with categories and weighting. If you're not using this option, we have a handout with tips which may help you with your grade calculations. Let's begin by reviewing the grading scale that tells Sakai the letter grade to assign your students based on their overall numeric course grade. We'll need to make sure we've chosen the scale that matches the course's syllabus. Click Gradebook and then the Settings tab. Expand Grading Schema to view the scale. The default grading scale is the letter grades option, which is a 10-point grading scale. If you need to change the scale, click the Grade Type drop-down menu and select the desired option. In the table, review the letter grades and their minimum percentage values. This information should match the grading scale in the course's syllabus. If it's not correct, type the correct percentage values and then click Save Changes. In this example, the grading scale matches the syllabus, so we'll return to the gradebook by clicking the Grades tab. Next, we'll make sure all of the gradebook items we intend to include are being calculated in the final course grade. Focusing on the row of cells that contains the names of each gradebook item, we'll scroll to the right and make note of any cells that have a crossed-out calculator icon. Here's an example. This icon lets you know that the item is not being included in the course grade calculations. I want to make sure this item is included, and there's a couple of ways I can do that, but the easiest way is to click the Bulk Edit button. A list of all of the gradebook items appears, making it easy to quickly see which gradebook items have been released to students and whether or not gradebook items are included in the course grade calculations. Here's the item that hasn't been included in the course grade calculations yet. I'll place a check next to it in the Include in Course Grade Calculations column, then we'll click Save Changes. The crossed-out calculator icon is no longer appearing, which means this gradebook item is now being included in the course grade calculations. Alternatively, I can include a gradebook item by clicking the item's drop-down arrow and selecting Edit Item Details. If the item is uncategorized, first select a category for it, and then click Save Changes. Okay, now let's consider what will happen if you missed grading an item. In other words, what does the gradebook do with an item that perhaps was never turned in by a student and does not have a grade, such as this Week 2 homework assignment that Adele did not submit? Well, the gradebook will not include the ungraded item in the final course grade. This is analogous to forgiving the assignment and allowing the student the possibility of receiving a higher course grade. We want final course grades to be accurate, so it's important to assign a 0 for any missed assignments. Since there are several tools that send grades to the gradebook, you could go to each one and give 0s for missing grades, but the gradebook provides an option that makes it easier to manage this task. With this option, you can set all ungraded or empty cells across the entire gradebook to 0. Before we zero out this gradebook, it's important to acknowledge the importance of waiting until the end of the semester before you perform this action. Once you zero out all of the empty cells in the gradebook, your students' final grades will be recalculated. If you do this earlier in the semester, every ungraded item you have in your gradebook, such as future assignments, will be set to 0. Though editable, this has the potential of making the gradebook difficult for you and your students to use, so we strongly encourage you to wait. But at the end of the semester, when you're ready to assign 0s for all empty cells in the gradebook, locate the course grade column and click the drop-down arrow in the top cell. Select Set 0 Score for empty cells, and then click Update. All ungraded items now have a 0. The final step in preparing final grades is to take a moment to review each of the final letter grades assigned by Sakai. The purpose of the review is to see if there is a need to override any of the letter grades that the gradebook did not round up. For example, consider Sandra's final grade. She has a number grade of 89.96, and because the grading scale for this gradebook is set to a 10-point scale, Sakai assigned Sandra a B letter grade. This is because 89.96 falls below the minimum percentage threshold of 90 that is needed to receive an A in this course. But if her number grade were to be rounded up, the grade would become an A. We caution you to be careful during this step. Make sure you override only those grades that are not rounded up. Do not change letter grades that have been calculated correctly. Let's go ahead and override Sandra's letter grade. Locate the cell containing her current course grade and click the drop-down arrow to select Course Grade Override. In the box that appears, locate the cell under Grade Override and type the new letter grade. In this example, we'll type an A. Click Save Course Grade Override. Sandra's new final course grade appears. The grade appears in bold text to indicate it was overridden by the instructor. Okay, the final grades for this gradebook are ready. Let's make sure that students can see their final grades. To confirm this, I'll click on any student in the gradebook. Then click the tab for Student Review Mode, which shows me exactly what is displayed to the student. In this example, next to course grade, I can see that Sandra's final course grade is displayed to her. If I had forgotten to release final grades to students, I would see Not Yet Released instead. To correct this, I would go to Settings and select Grade Release Rules. If you need assistance while preparing your final grades, please contact Sakai Help at durhamtech.edu.